Now that we've created the data table, we're going to create the actual classroom newsletter. This is going to be the second part of the process. The first one's create the data table, second one is create the classroom newsletter, and once we've got both of those separate parts completed, we'll actually finish the project by completing the merge. Again, we're on the CNI 3750 online website. The address is there. Back to the assignments tab, to the newsletter. From here, we've got the data table done. Now we're on to the classroom newsletter. So if you click on the classroom newsletter, it was at about this point when I realized I'm going to be asking an awful lot of you guys to be able to follow setting tabs and doing these types of things from a set of instructions. It's going to be much easier if I can show you a video. The one thing you do need to pay attention is the scavenger hunt. This paragraph right here is one you're going to need to copy and paste into your Word document. So you need to keep an eye on that. I'll come back and get that at a later date. In a few moments you'll see. So to start, we're going to start with just simply a blank Microsoft Word document. Again, you want to make sure that you've got your ruler turned on with View. Your page layout for this one needs to be in Portrait, which is the traditional normal side. And from the home here. What we're going to begin with, I have my show paragraphs, show hide all characters on so that you can see exactly what we're doing exactly as we go step by step. First thing you're going to need to do is come up with a title for your classroom newsletter. Simple, something that works for you. Simple as classroom newsletter. We're going to take that. Now, before you start doing any of the other stuff, I highly recommend you go ahead and press enter. From here, we can take it, we can center it. If you've got a pet font that you like, that man, I'm just a big fan of Algerian, and that's the one you want to use, that works. We're going to see how big we can make it. We want to keep it on one line. That works fine. The reason we've pressed enter is because if you press enter now, your next line is going to be exactly as that one was. Algerian 36 centered, but if we get rid of that and we've pressed enter beforehand, now we still have our body left aligned. It's 11-point font. Makes much more sense. So now that we've got our title, next what we're going to put in is called the publisher line. This is the one on a newspaper. You'll see it's got below the title, it's got the date, it's got Volume 1, Edition 1, that type of stuff. That's what we're going to put across here. We're going to have the date here on the left-hand side. We're going to have the volume and edition over on the right-hand side. And we're going to have sort of the mascot here in the center. Now this is where you're going to need to pay particular attention to some of this. First is right here in the corner. We have the tab indicator. If you put your mouse over it, you'll see it'll tell you it's a left tab. It looks simply like an L. We're going to, by default, everything starts at the left-hand side, so we're not going to have to put any left tab in. If you want to put a left tab in, you can. It doesn't make a difference one way or the other. But this is where we're going to put in the date. So we're going to put in today's date. There's a couple of ways you can do this. The way I prefer to do it is to, let's highlight this and let's go Insert. After you get today's date typed in there, you can actually put today's date in, or the way I prefer to do it is up on the Insert tab, you can go to Date and Time, and then you just pick out the format that you want. If that's the one you want, click OK, and then this little button right here where it says Update Automatically, it will change that. So every time you upload, you look at this, it'll put the correct today's date in. So now that we've got that done, let's go to the Center tab. Well, you can see here we've got 6.5 inches of our paper that we can use. We have a 1-inch right margin, a 1-inch left margin of an 8.5-inch paper, which gives us 6.5 inches to type in. So half of 6.5 is 3.25, which is right there. So that's where we want our center to be, our center tab to be. So our left tab, if we click it one time, it turns into an upside down T. Now if we put our mouse over top of it, it'll tell us it's a center tab. Setting tabs is very easy if you understand what you're doing. You have to be below the dotted line here, and you just simply put your mouse down there and click and hold, and you'll notice you get this dotted line. While you're holding your mouse down, you can move this tab any way you want, and we're going to line it up right there on 3.25 inches. Let go. That's all we need to do. Now when we press tab, it will move us all the way over there. So now you don't have to hit spacebar or tab 3 times or 4 times and then a bunch of spaces to trying to get this to line up in the exact center. So now you're going to put something in the center of it that makes sense sort of as a the school mascot or something like that. Mountaineer, something like that. And then we're going to put another tab all the way over on the right hand side. Again, to the center tab, if we click it one more time, now it looks like a backwards L, and that's a right tab. It's very difficult to put a right tab over there on the side. You can see when I click that, that starts moving that triangle around. You don't want to move those around, you want to leave those alone. So let's move over here a little bit to the left, click, hold it down, and slide it in there to the right. Now when we let go, we've got it in there. If by chance you get some extra tabs put in there like that, getting rid of them is very easy. You can move them on top of each other, and when they stack up on top of each other, they go away and the extra ones go away. Or you just simply grab it and move it down. Notice how it turns kind of grayed out. When you let go, now it disappears. So you can see I had 3 extra tabs. I stacked them on top of each other to create one, and from there I just was able to pull it down and get rid of it. So now when I press Tab, it brings me all the way out here to the edge. So this one is going to be, we have the date, we've got our logo. This is going to be Volume 1, Issue 1, something that looks like that. Now the last thing we want to do is we want to set this off so that it looks like a publisher line, which means we want to put an underline below it and a line above it. We want to set it off with lines. Now if we do that right here, we can do top border and a bottom border. We could do that right there if we wanted. If we do that, when we press enter, it's going to take that bottom border and continue to move it down the page. We don't want that to happen, so we're going to press enter once before we do that. Now we're going to highlight it. We're going to press the bottom border. We're going to press the top border. Now when we deselect it, we have that set off. It looks very much like a publisher line on a newspaper. Again, we take off the show all characters. That's what it's going to look like when it prints. And we can make any of the changes that we need. So let's go back in here. Now, in the left-hand column, this is your column. This is where you're going to type in a little bit of information about yourself. You're going to introduce yourself to your parents, because this is the newsletter that we're going to practice and pretend as though we would be sending home about the first couple of days of school. You want to introduce yourself to the parents, to prospective caregivers, anybody you may have come in contact with that is a guardian of your students. You want them to be introduced to you through this. So you're going to need to fill up most of this column. I'm going to scroll down here to the bottom of the page. You can see there's the bottom, our 1-inch margin. You're going to want to leave a little bit of space at the bottom so that we have room to put in a text box. That's going to be where we're going to put in our teacher comments and things like that. So we've got things working pretty good so far. So you're going to, at this point, we're going to put in a column break because we want to get over here to the second column. This is where the information that I gave you is going to go. So if we were to go to Insert and go to, actually this is on Page Layout, we're going to go to Page Layout, Columns, sorry, not Columns, Break, and we can tell it we want a column break. If we do that, it takes everything and creates it on a second page, which is not at all what you want. So we're going to undo that. Simple Control Z will do that. We want to highlight everything. You can Control A, triple click, whatever, you get everything highlighted. Now if we go to Columns and we tell it we want 2 columns, well, that doesn't look right, does it? We wanted the title to be up there centered. So again, let's undo that. What our problem is we're running into is we are having everything highlighted. What we want to do is highlight just this one, tell it columns 2. Now we have 2 columns. And now if we go in and insert a break and a column break, this puts us from this column over here to this column. Now we are running into a couple of issues here. We've got this section break and we've got this column break. So we're going to backspace, backspace. I'm going to press delete. I want to get rid of that column break. We're going to go back to columns to 1. Now we're going to highlight that 1 column right there and tell it we want 2. Now when we insert our break, it looks exactly like it did beforehand, which is not at all what we want. So again, is it this one? Columns 2. There we go. That's what we want. We need to have this entire thing highlighted. As you can tell, even I'm going to go through and make a few mistakes on this, but if you understand that, hey, we can do that it's okay, we can figure it out. So now we have your column up here at the top, this line's at the top, so they're even. This is where your scavenger hunt's going to go. So now from here we can go back to our web page. Again, we're on this classroom newsletter, the second part of it. Right here at scavenger hunt, we're going to highlight the word scavenger hunt, and we're going to go all the way down here to your student. We want to highlight all that. Control C, copy. We're going to come back here and we're going to paste it in. Now this is the information, the content you need on this page. Now we can go in and play with some of this. You can see right here after scavenger hunt we have a soft return. We need to delete that and press enter, because now we can take scavenger hunt and we can center that, and let's make that a little bit bigger so it's the title. We've got these things in here too. Now you'll notice where it says your student, you'll have see numbers guessed here. This is where the student's name, they guessed a certain number, that number you put in the data table and they finished in that place. This is where you're going to have that, and congratulations, your student. This is all going to go away in a little bit. But again, triple click that, so we're going to highlight it all. We're going to put that in 12-point font so that it makes sense. Again, now this is your column where you're going to press enter, and we're going to let's make that left aligned. And do